Jimmy, green light? All right, I'm live now. All right. Well, welcome to another AGM Ninja workshop. Thanks for being here again, guys. Let's get ready. Yay. You know, we usually do these workshops at the same time, and we do it every other week. It's Tuesdays at 6:15 p.m. It's our standard time. We always start on time. We don't always end on time, but we definitely always start on time. It depends on who's on stage, right? If I'm speaking, chances are we're not ending on time. It's more likely today because we got Mr. Jesus Revezzo talking today. He likes to stick to a script and a plan. I am not a script type of guy. But again, thank you for being here. It is the day after 4th of July. I'm sure that some of you guys are still recovering from a crazy day, and that's why you're not here, and you might be watching this replay. I did debate whether we change the date or not, and I said, you know what? No. The ones that show up, those are the ones that are going to take advantage of the content today. This content today is going to be hot. It's going to be fire. It's going to be delivered by Mr. Jesus Revezzo, who is the AGM Marketing Director. He's been with me for many years now. It feels like 100. It's been about 3. Which, when you think about it, it's about 60% of AGM's life. It's quite something. It is. He came several years ago into the world of AGM, having a passion for marketing and having a desire to be better. And we gave him an opportunity. He has an incredible history. This guy has been through a lot in his life, similar to me. We've gone through a lot. We're warriors. He came into this group and he found a great opportunity to provide value to the group and get value for himself. And he's been growing every single year and getting better. And whenever you guys get emails or text messages from us here at AGM Marketing, it's coming from him. He's the one that manages that line. And he has been responsible for what we like to call nurturing our customer list, making sure that we keep on creating quality prospects interested in our services, people interested in taking advantage of the marketing opportunities that we have in front. He also trains a lot of our other staff in what he does every single day. The area that he's going to talk about today is very important. We're going to be talking about how do you get to understand your customers at a deeper level so you can make more money with these customers, because a lot of people focus too much on the front end of a sale instead of focusing on the lifetime of a customer coming into your world. The thing that makes a brand successful is understanding something called cost per acquisition. When you understand that really well, you get to win the game of business. If you look at something like brands that we know today, like Netflix, like Amazon, all these people, they understand what is their cost to acquire a customer. For example, to give you one example out of many, Amazon, the Amazon Prime membership. A lot of you guys know who that is. If you don't know, I don't know what planet you're from, but there's over 100 million active Amazon Prime members in the United States of America and growing fast across the world. These people pay $10 a month to have that membership, or $90-something in a year, right? Something like that. These people, they only pay $10 the first time that they opt in. But Amazon is willing to spend $250 to get them to pay $10. Why are they willing to lose so much money on the front end? Because they understand the lifetime value of every single human being coming into the world. So they provide a lot of value, a lot of great services. They solve a lot of people's problems by doing all the incredible things that they do. And by doing so, they keep people invested in them for a long time. I don't know if you guys can think about your life without Amazon. I sure as hell can't. Every time I get home, we have boxes. We got 6 people in my house, and everybody's ordering stuff, and it's incredible. Like, it's quite something, right? So they do make our lives better, and by doing so, they actually keep people buying from them over the long run. So you got to understand not only how to acquire a customer, you got to understand how to keep a customer buying from you. So we're going to be talking about today here. Mr. Jesus Revezzo, without further ado, it is your stage. Let's go.
All right. Appreciate all that. I'm an emotional guy. Almost cried during that intro. Thank you.
I think Jesus cries every single time that I talk about him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'll do my best not to cry any further for the night, because we're going to talk about making some money.
Let's go.
All right, so the customer relationship cycle and how understanding the customer on a deeper level can help you make even more money. It's pretty important. Let's see if this works. Oh, it's the bottom button.
It does work.
So, 3 basic things we're going to talk about tonight. There are 3 levels of customer knowledge that I would like you guys to walk away with from here. Also want to know about what customers think and what they say, and of course why it matters to you. So, diving right in. 3 levels of customer knowledge. And if anybody saw my little promo video last week, I talked about how most people only use the first, maybe some of the second, and almost nobody uses the third. First level, everybody kind of knows this, demographics, how old is somebody, man, woman, where are they at, are they in a relationship, are they parents, are they grandparents, what kind of income level do they have? Simple, easy stuff. Next one down, we call psychographics. This is more about what they do, what kind of activities do they engage in, what values do they have, okay, what beliefs do they have, right? So some people work in that second level. Not many people even think about the third one. Third one is the lens by which they see the world through, or the lens in which they see themselves in the world. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. By diving deep. Yeah.
The question was, how do you measure that? Just for the people that are joining us on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah. It's almost impossible to actually measure it, but when you dive deep into understanding who the customer is, like Manuel talks about all the time, when you're doing your marketing, you have to take yourself out of your own position and you have to become the customer and see things through their eyes and how does it make sense to them. So if we talk about that for a second, people may want to be the person that somebody looks up to, right? Or they may want to be, as odd as it seems, some people want to be the victim so they get attention. Some people want to be the guy who knows everything, okay? So these are the kind of things that you really want to kind of dig into and try to understand where they're at. Because it makes a difference in the way you talk to them. And whether you're talking to them on video, whether you're talking to them in emails, in ad copy, in written letters and postcards, all this makes a difference. So, again, how do we get in there? We have to do some research. Now, whether you have a product or service currently, or whether you want to create a product or service, we need to know, 1, who wants it? And of the who wants it, are we going to talk to a person based on the person themselves, or are we going to talk about the problem itself? Maybe do a little bit of both. I've got some examples of some of these as we coming up. But as a quick example, let's say working moms who are running a side business, right? More person-based, versus I need to lose 30 pounds to, what do I want to say? Reduce my type 2 diabetes, right? Person-based, problem-based. What do they want? And what are the results that they really want? Right, so if the example of, well, I want to lose some weight. Doesn't really mean anything yet. Okay, everybody wants to lose weight, or most people do. I want to lose some weight. But what do they really want? Well, do they want to be able to play with their kids? Do they want to be able to play with their grandkids? Do they want to run circles around people half their age on the golf course? Do they want to look good on the beach? What do they really want? You also got to understand and have a knowledge of what have they tried before, right? So what was the solution that they went to that didn't work, or they didn't use it because they didn't see results fast enough? The more that we know of situations such as this, the easier it is to attack the problem from a new angle. So how to do some of the research. So top one I throw in here is reverse engineering the competitors. This is something Manuel's talked about and taught many times. One of the easiest ways that we have currently to do this is to go through the Facebook ad library. You can easily pull up somebody who sells something similar to yours. So I have here, right? So who else sells similar products or services to the same market? Get yourself a list, 10 to 20 of those people. Go see, check out the Facebook ad library as a surface level. Man, they're throwing watermelon pieces at me up here. I guess at least it wasn't a tomato. So when you get into the ad library, though, there's one thing that's a good key of something to look for, and that is how long has an ad been running. The longer the ad's been running, generally, the more successful it is for that person, because you don't want to waste money on something that doesn't work. So when you're learning about how to test your ads, which is something that we teach in different levels, or we can help you with if you guys want it, you learn to test fast so you don't waste a lot of investment, right? This guy likes it. Test fast, find the winners, and then drive more money into the winners. And if it works, and when I say works, I mean it's hitting the metrics that you want to be successful. And that's going to be slightly different for all of us. Each business is going to have its own success metric. But if it's successful for what you need, just let it run. There's no point in stopping something if it's working the way you want it.
So I think I need to lower that volume a little bit because it's a little too loud. Not for you, Jesus, for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you guys something very quickly to complement what Mr. Jesus is talking about right now. And this is, like he mentioned, this is something that I talked about in the past. It's very valuable for all of you guys, whether you are joining. Jimmy, we're good? Okay. Whether we are, whether you guys are joining on Facebook and YouTube, or you're streaming this, or you're here with us, this is what I'm going to show you right now is a very, very important step towards your success with social media marketing, and it's very simple to execute. Towards your success with marketing in general, and it's understanding what other people and other brands are doing, that they are selling similar products and services. You want to spend time doing this. If you don't understand that yet, or if you feel that you don't have any competitors, I urge you to spend some time discovering competitors, because you need to understand what other people are doing in your industry to help them capture attention. So you, not necessarily, we don't want to call it plagiarize what they're doing. You want to get inspired with what they're doing, and you want to create your own version of it. And it is applicable to any industry. What I'm about to tell you guys right now is applicable whether you have a service to sell, whether you have products to sell, whether you have a software or program to sell, or you have a digital program that you want to get in front of more people. It doesn't matter what it is. Tell them the history of this thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about right now. It's called the Facebook ad library. Nobody has done a better job than Facebook showing us what all the marketers are doing. There is no place in the internet right now where you can find out what TV ads are being run exactly. There is no place in the internet where you can find what magazines are being run across the world. There is no place in the world where you can find exactly what billboards and artwork is being done to promote other products out there. There is one place in the world, one, only one, where you can find out exactly what advertising is being done by any brand across the planet on Facebook and Instagram. There is no other opportunity, and it's one of the most underutilized pieces of gold out there that are going to get you inspired so you can go and create your own version of it, no matter what that is, especially if you know that brand is doing well. The reason why this thing exists, I'm going to show you guys a few steps on how to use this tool right here. It's free. It costs you absolutely $0 to use it. All you need is an internet connection, mobile device, or computer to access what I'm about to show you guys. The reason why this was created is called the Facebook ad library. It's been around for a few years already. I'm going to say it's been around About 3 years or so, more or less when Jesus started working with us, Facebook went through something which was a scandal. Some of you guys recall this scandal. They had a company called Cambridge Analytica. Here's a lesson in history, marketing history. There's a company called Cambridge Analytica, which is it's a British company that what they do is that they actually buy data and they exchange it with politicians and all these things. They went into Facebook and they bought a lot of data, took out a lot of data, and then they used it to manipulate people somehow. We're not going to get into that subject right now, but it's a controversial subject. It led to Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, being put in front of Congress. And Facebook was questioned, and it was publicly vilified and attacked more than any other business we've ever seen. No other brand has been put through more scrutiny than Facebook because of supposedly manipulation of data, manipulation of politics, having an influence in the Russian government invading our elections, and all those things. So Facebook, in response to all this drama, they said, you know what? We're going to open up the floodgates. We're going to open up the doors. They call it full transparency. So you are not allowed, no matter what brand you are, to run a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad without allowing other people to see exactly what you're doing. You're not allowed. You have to give everybody else access to it. Here's the incredible thing. Almost nobody uses it. It's available, but they don't use it. How cool is it that you can go in there and copy some of the most brilliant creative minds in the world? Some of the best marketers, some of the most incredible brands that you know are absolutely crushing it in the world. And they're doing incredible and they're growing. How incredible is it that you can go in here, spend a little bit of time, and you can know exactly what they're doing. So you can get inspired, all right? So how do you access this data? And a curious survey over here. Raise your hand if you knew what this Facebook ad library was. Wow. Well, it's not fair. You guys, AGM marketing, don't raise your hand, all right? So I think we had 2 hands raised. Raise your hand if you have used it before. Good. Very good. Raise your hand if you have used it enough before. Okay, good. All right, good. So how do you access this? Well, you go to this website that I want you guys to take your notepad and write it down. Ready? 𝗟𝗘𝗥𝗡.com. You got it? Okay, good. Once you go to that website,
Is that goggle?
that would have been a real statement, like maybe 10 years ago, right, or 13 years ago.
I use Jeeves.
You use what?
Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves? Is that
Ask Jeeves? I never heard of it. I wasn't a marketer back then. I wasn't a marketer. So you go to google.com and you type in Facebook ad library. And Jimmy, I'm hoping that they can see it. You can correct me if you can stop me if they can't see it, all right? So you search for Facebook ad library, and the first thing that shows up is this link right here. As you can see, it says ads library. You click on it, and once you click on it, it is the entire world of advertising across Facebook and Instagram. Everything. So what I recommend that you guys do is that you make a list of your competitors, the ones that you know and the ones that you don't know. And if you have an e-commerce brand, let's say that you sell beauty, you have a beauty brand, just go to Target and look at the brands that you know are selling like crazy. Make a list of all of them. The L'Oreals of the world and I don't know, I'm not a beauty guy, but what is this brand? My wife bought a cream that was 2 ounces the other day. La Mel? What is it? Something.
That sounds familiar. I remember you telling
2
me
ounces for like $250, all right? Some kind of French or Italian, very fancy brand, right? So it's kind of crazy. Right? I don't even understand how you get to that valuation. But you make a list of all your 20 competitors on whatever industry that is. If you're doing services, just make a list of all the people that are selling your services. If you don't have competitors, then potentially, I don't know, you're your name is Elon Musk or something like that, and you have created a revolutionary flying car, so you're not going to find that competitor here, but all of us have competitors. You know how many marketing agencies out there are trying to earn business.
You know, if you have no competitors and you're not Elon Musk, chances are nobody wants what you're selling.
That's a good one, right? So if you have no competitors, that's a great one actually, Jesus, right? It's a really good point right there. If you have no competitors and your name is not Elon Musk, right? By the way, Elon Musk is trying to get competitors now because Mercedes and Porsches and all these guys are now doing electric vehicles. But still, it's like Elon Musk and Tesla and then everybody else way down there. But if you have no competitors and your name is not Elon Musk, potentially nobody wants your product yet. And you have this romantic idea about your product being so special because it was formulated in the Himalayan mountains of who knows where, and people will be lucky if they find your product, but still there's no demand established. So that's also something to keep in mind, right? Like there has to be a demand established for your product. So generally, you want to make a list of 20 of them. Here's an action step. Make a list of 20 of these competitors that you have. Even if you don't care what they're doing, even if it doesn't bother you, I can tell you what other marketing, there's enough business out there, guys, for you to obsess over like, oh my God, my competitors. I don't really care. Like, I want to see everybody do well. Like, I want to build my own building while others build their own building, not by tearing everybody else down, right? So I want to see other people grow and thrive and do great. And there's enough out there for all of us to get a little piece of the pie. Imagine that. There's 300 million people in the US. The world of the internet is still just getting started. There's 8 billion people on the planet, 8 billion people on the planet. 4 billion, barely, only half of them have access to something called the internet. So 1 out of every 2 human beings in this planet. It's a little shocking. They don't even know what the internet is yet. So this whole thing is still like, it's still an evolution. There's enough for us to be able to grow. But make a list so you can actually implement this particular exercise that I want you guys all to do. So for example, let's say in our case, who's a competitor that we have? Jesus, what's a competitor?
Xerox.
No, Xerox is not my competitor, for sure.
Marketing.
Yeah. Gary Vee has a marketing company called VaynerMedia. Not really my competitor because they work with brands that pay him $250,000 a month, all right? So it's, raise your hand if you can afford $250,000 a month. Right?
Oh, there's...
So is he a competitor of mine? Not really, right? Because I work with smaller brands that are more just like, let's take it off, let's go, right? Like,
I think there's one named 4080 Marketing.
There's a lot of them, right?
This question brings up the issue of how do we determine our competitors?
Absolutely, right? So how do you determine that? So if you don't have brands that you can think of right away or company names, you can search by keyword or category, all right? It's going to help you find them. So I'm already here on the ad library. As you can see here, I got a search ad. It says, set your location and choose an ad category to start your search. For example, if I want to search in the United States, I can, or I can search in any country around the world. It's quite something. Ad category. So I can do all ads, or I can do issues, elections, or politics. For example, if I want to compete with Biden for the presidency of 2024, I can look at issues, elections, or politics. There's a lot of politicians doing marketing on Facebook, right? There's a lot of them. I can tell you that is what got Trump elected in 2016, using Facebook ads. He went really deep into it, and at that point, marketing was a major opportunity. It was very affordable, and he did 10 times more advertising than the competitors. So he dominated, he totally crushed. So you can, housing, for example, if you're a realtor, if you're a mortgage, if you do credit opportunities, et cetera, employment, credit, et cetera, all of it here. I'm gonna go and search all ads. And if I search by keywords, I can enter marketing over here. And then I can spend some time doing some research. So for example, if I do advertisers, it starts showing up different options. This one says the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. This one says Content Marketing Conference. These are all pages that are showing up with my keyword research. Network Marketing Pro. So I know there is a There is a friend of mine, actually. I've been on his podcast. They have an agency called Studio.
98.
No, not 98. They're not running ads on Facebook right now. Ollie, is Ollie here?
You thinking about the one that used to run in the Perpetual Marketing Podcast?
No, what is the Perpetual Traffic podcast? It's called, what is the name of the agency?
Perpetual
Tier 11, right? Tier 11.
The agency Perpetual is the podcast.
Let's see if they're running any ads, all right? So I'm going to go to ad category, all ads, and I'm going to type in Tier 11. They do Facebook ads. That's what they do. Let's find out if they're here. Tier 11, advertising agency, 2,500 likes, 3,100 followers. I'm going to click on that one. So as soon as I click on this one, it gives me all kinds of details about the page, including every single active ad, all of it. So if I have no clue about what type of ad to run, all I do is spend some time over here, and I get inspired. And the thing about Facebook is that it's not a cookie cutter template that you have to put together. It's not a 30-second TV commercial like it was for decades on a TV era. There's going to be a variation. Some of them are going to be short copy. Some of them are going to be long. Some of them are going to have videos. Some of them are going to have images. Like these ones are images right here. Let me just go full screen. So you can see here, he has over here, this is the marketing agency. All they do is sell Facebook ads. And again, you guys see how I don't care about competitors. I'm showing you about competitor right now, right? Tier 11, that means you must meet your competitor where they are, your customer when they are in their journey, not yours. It also means that in the future, the survival and success of every brand in the world will depend on how well it can market to the machines. There's only one person who gets to be selfish during the buying process, the buyer. Okay, all right. So I can see all the ads that they're running, all the ads. And that's Ralph right there. He's the CEO of the company. And you can see the images. They're not running much videos right now. If they were running a video, like this one actually, I can see it. And I can click on it. And I can see exactly what he says. And I can hear it. And I can engage with it. And I can be like, oh my God, I got an idea. This is what I'm going to do right myself. And let's say that I want to be like, oh my God, my funnel, my website is terrible. Well, I need to improve it. Well, what I do is that I go and I click on this one. And I look at the website. And I take that link and I hire a designer or I hire a web developer. And I go to a place like, there's many, many places, like AGM Marketing. You guys heard about AGM Marketing? And then you hire a team to help you build one of those websites. But yeah, somebody said Fiverr, right? Fiverr.com, F-I-V as in Victor, E-R-R.com. You can probably pay like $1,000 and get yourself a nice little landing page like this. What do? They're going to ask you, well, what do you want? Well, you can say, like, I want you to make a similar version, but here's my branding, here's my video, here's what we're all about. Let's go. Can you build me something cool? It's like that, guys. This is powerful. You get to understand the funnels, the landing pages, the video, how they communicate, the copy, the call to actions, all of it. So spending some time understanding this process is time well spent, and it's going to put you one step closer towards success in your marketing endeavor. If you just randomly try to advertise because you feel you're special or you're like, I already know what the customer wants. Let's say that you feel like you're Henry Ford, right? Like, I don't know if you guys know that story. They asked them, why don't you survey people? He said, because if I survey people, they would have asked me for faster horses, right? So instead of that, I just created a vehicle because I knew that I solved the problem. So if you feel like you're Henry Ford and you want to create products that people don't know they need yet, forget about this, right? But if you feel like you have a product that has an established demand and you have competitors, spend some time understanding what other people are doing so it can inspire you to create incredible advertising pieces of content, incredible copy, call to actions that make people interested, and you can start having a Google Doc, and you can start saying like, I like this one, look at this copy variation right here, and then right under it, you create your own variation of it. You see? This should be something that should get you guys going, right? And just to complement what Mr. Jesus is saying. All yours, Jesus.
All right, good stuff. And why are we doing that? Right? Because we want to see, again, what the competitors are doing, but now we want to take it a step further. We want to see what some of the people are saying about the competitors, okay? And we want to see what the people are saying about their own problems or their own desires, okay? And now the question might be, well, where do I find that? So we got here on the bottom, Facebook groups, forums, reviews, apparently Reddit. I'm not very skilled personally in Reddit, but I'm working on it because there is a ton of great information in there. Another, get some thumbs up back there, nice. Another great place is Amazon itself and the reviews, or Google reviews. Check the review sections of the competitors, not necessarily ones that they show you on their websites, but go and find, like I said, the Google reviews and the Amazon reviews. And now, here's a tip I've heard from a few different places, and it's very interesting. They say you can kind of ignore the 5 stars and the 1 stars. I'm like, okay, that sounds interesting. And the part of the reasoning is that what they're saying is a lot of 5-star reviews, they call them like fans. They're just, hey, these people just love the product. They're going to give it a 5-star no matter what. And sometimes the 1-star reviews are just crabby people.
People that are unhappy, right?
Yeah, and no matter what you did, they're going to give you a 1-star review. So in this particular instance, the idea is to favor the 3-star review, because generally those will give you the most honest, and they'll tell you what they really liked, and they'll tell you what they didn't like.
3 to 4 star, I would say.
3 to 4?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what you want to do is you want to look for the stuff that they didn't like so that you can fix it and include it in your product or service.
Absolutely.
So now that you did that, what do we do with it? We're going to use that information to create some offers, create content, use it to, when I say use it to speak directly to the people, what I mean is because you've done all that background research and you know how these real people are talking about their real problems to others, now you can take their verbiage, the way they speak, and feed it back to them. And when you do that, this is, if you've ever read some advertising or heard it or seen it, and you went, oh, I really feel like they're talking to me. It's because they've done this. Numerous times I've gotten a book from somewhere, I'm reading through the book, and I was like, I really feel like this person knew who I was and was speaking directly to me in the problems in which made me buy the book. So, and the purpose of knowing this and creating an offer and the content around it is so you can collect that contact information and or make your first sale to the person, moving them from a prospect to a customer. Now, what I didn't talk about at the very beginning, and I could have, was that when we're saying the customer relationship, it really is a relationship. So if I walked over, so pretend I'm not married for a second, I was like, hey, you want to get married? See, her eyes popped up. She's like, ooh, that's a weird question. She didn't say yes. She didn't say no, which could be a benefit. There was that one.
I know what she thought. She thought, this dude is crazy.
Yeah.
That's what she thought.
So you're saying there's a chance, right? There's that movie line.
I think she paused because Jesus was asking that.
That could be. Just because it was me, yeah. But, so if you just dive in, and Manuel talks about this a lot, if you try to go directly to the sale, man, a lot of times people are just going to bounce, they're not interested, because you haven't built a relationship, right? You got to ask the person out. You got to actually take them out. Once you take them out, you got to have a good evening or conversation, lunch, dinner, whatever. And then you got to see, would you like to go out again? Because even at the end of the first date, if everything went well, you're like, you're the one, let's get married. What are you thinking over there? Yes? No? We had a great first date. Will we get married yet? See, she's still hesitating. No, I'm not sure. Is my beard too short? Is it too long? I don't know. Okay.
I'm not quite sure if it has grown over the last 3 years, Jesus. I don't know if he's trimming it.
It's just kind of there.
It's kind of there.
So, if anything,
A question for you.
yeah,
How would that impact the product life cycle?
go ahead and give us one more time.
I was just wondering how that would.
Maybe not working.
Mic check.
All right, so
So the question is, how
is-
would it impact the product life cycle?
We're actually, I was actually going to address that here in a couple slides, but to quickly kind of fast forward, the general answer is it gives you the opportunity to create new products that take the person one step further or closer, right? So maybe the first product solves a surface level problem, and then you want to take them one step down to a deeper problem, or closer to a desire that they want. Does that make sense? Does that kind of answer the question?
It's a good question. The brands that I have seen that are successful, that they keep on growing, they are always creating new products to feed to their audience, because these people become believers in what they have to offer. So for example, when you look at our brand, Natural Slim, which is in this corner of this building, our headquarters is at, we do high 8 figures a year. Whatever we launch, we're gonna sell it to them. It doesn't matter. Why? Because they believe in us at this point. If we say that this is a high quality product, they will buy it. If I take this thing right here, whiteboard cleaner, and I say, I put a stamp on it that says Natural Slim, and I said, spray your mouth twice a day, because it's gonna help you clean yourself of parasites. They might not like the taste of it. They're gonna do it because they believe in us. So, you know, the successful brands, they just keep on expanding consistently their product line. And it is applicable also to services like AGM marketing. I don't have it right here on the screen. It's actually, I think, on that TV back there. We have a suite of offers. We have expanded that. In this particular building, we have like 5 separate agencies. We deliver Amazon management services. We do content creation, completely different department. We rent out the studio space. That's things that we sell. We do copywriting. We create blogs. So there's many different offers that we do. We started with Facebook advertising. Anybody that has followed my journey over the last 6 years or so, I used to call myself the Facebook Ninja. And I even have a podcast about that. The only thing that I did was Facebook. And now I'm so much deeper than that. I don't call myself that at all, because we do a lot of different things. So along the way, it is a responsibility of a brand to keep on developing products and offerings that are gonna keep on solving people's problems, so you can increase that lifetime value. Because here's the fact, it is 7 times easier to get somebody to open up their wallets to you that has already opened up their wallets before, than to get somebody that doesn't know who you are to say, all right, here is my most precious information, my credit card, my billing address, my phone number, my email, here you go. 7 times easier to get somebody to do that for a second time than to get it to do it for the first time. So you gotta keep on expanding the brand. If you have one product and one service and no ability to keep on selling to that person, your business model becomes more of a challenge. So it's something for you guys to consider. And I think any good business that solves problems for people could potentially keep on expanding on their offering along the way. And that's something that I recommend for all of you guys.
Because I was thinking of FUBU. When FUBU came out, it was a big brand. Nothing existed.
It does exist.
It morphed into something else.
So he mentioned that he's thinking about FUBU. By the way, we're really close with FUBU because we worked with Damon John for years. We helped him with a lot of different things, and he was a partner of ours. We know the FUBU story really well. He blew up, and in the United States it became a big deal, and then they ended up pulling up FUBU out of the USA, and then they went into other markets. But they are coming back strong now. They're coming back now. So they became really big in other countries and other areas, and they have expanded their products in general. So it's something that, again, like that's a big part of Damon's story. But that company is still alive and well, that's for sure. They are.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that topic we're not really talking about tonight, but one of the things Damon and FUBU did really well was, create a family, basically, around the brand. So it created a sense of belonging. And as humans, unless you're, like that 1% who's like a psychopath, most of us want to belong to something. So when you find that brotherhood or that sisterhood, it's easy to dive in deep.
Yeah, FUBU is a brand built by Damon John. Stands for us, by us. And it was a massive, wild success. It has a big story behind it. Damon John is the people's shark, by the way, in case you don't know. He is one of the co-hosts of the Shark Tank.
So, some examples of and by the way, we did all that first research so that we knew who to ask out, if that makes sense, right? Because if you just invest your money in ads blanketly, there's a good chance that you're going to waste some of that ad money.
Yeah, so
But if you know who you want to ask out first,
this is data that you get from social media, right? So, for example, this is we manage a lot of different accounts, many different accounts. But there's a place called Audience Insights inside Facebook. That's what it's called. It's not called Facebook anymore. It's called Meta, as some of you guys already know. But if you go to business.facebook.com, business.facebook.com, it's still called business.facebook.com, and you set up an account there, which is going to require your Facebook account, your username and password. You'll be able to access things like something called Audience Insights, which means you get to see data from what Jesus is talking about, demographics, interests, what do they like, how many people in a particular country, etc. For example, in the world, actually this is USA, in the United States, there are anywhere from 224 million to 264 million people on Facebook and Instagram. That is close to 80% of the entire population. Crazy, right? So there's an 80% chance that anybody that you meet is actively using Facebook or Instagram. It's insane. Hate them or love them, it doesn't matter. It is a fact. They have dominated the attention game. No other media company has ever come close to this. No one. So still is a fact. They got also lucky along the way because they got Instagram, and that obviously took off. But you can look at the data of people, very smart. They purchased it for $1 billion, and they call it the steal of the century. They could probably sell it for $100 billion today or more. So, for example, when you go over here, you look at the potential audience of the USA or any country that you select, and you look at the demographics. 18 to 24-year-olds are over here, 25 to 34, men and women. For example, women are 58% of both social media platforms, 42% of them are men, 2.82% are in New York, etc. But you can actually start adding filters to this. You add filters, and you can enter anything. Ages, for example, let's say that you want to find out, let's say that you have a Medicare gap insurance to sell to people that are 65 and older. It's a real business. I know of a business personally that spends $500,000 a month on advertising, just targeting the 65 and over. Well, you guys might be saying, wait a second, they're not on Facebook. Well, you can think about that again. Check this out. If I go over here and I go to 65 plus, and let's see how many of them are on Facebook. So there's 25 million to 30 million 65 and over senior citizens between Facebook and Instagram. That's a lot of people, guys. So they're there. The 18-year-olds are there. Are they there as much as they are on TikTok? Absolutely not. They're still there, all right? There's a lot of people to reach. So you can do this process to understand your audience, and you can start breaking down on over here. This is a great practical thing to do. Let's say that I wanna find out how many of these people are interested in marketing. Well, let me just type it in. How many people 65 and over are interested in marketing? I bet you they're all business owners. There's 16 million of them. It is estimated. How does Facebook know they're interested in marketing? Well, it's based on their interaction with Facebook pages, with ads, whether they comment or they like things or they visit pages, etc. They find that they're interested. But you can start breaking that down for beauty, interested in taxes, in healthcare, in whatever your interest is, and you can start looking at your audience. So that is the potential audience, how many you can potentially reach. For example, we're looking at Dr. Berg in this example. You guys know who Dr. Berg is? Yeah. Right? So Dr. Berg is a massive influencer. He's one of the top in the world. The other day we found out Dr. Berg's YouTube channel is the 5th largest educational channel in the country, United States. Awesome. 5th in the country, all right? Our channel, which is called Metabolismo TV, is number 15 in the country, right? So we have here at AGM 2 of the top 15 in the country. So we know a little bit of our business, right? So if you look at Dr. Berg's audience on Facebook, well, we got 973,000 likes. So again, let's talk about for perspective purposes. There's potential. I'm going to clear the filters out. I'm going to go to 18 plus. Let me remove marketing. So there's a potential 261 million people. And Dr. Berg, massive business at this point. We're taking off in a big way. We got 973,000 people that have liked the page. Do you think we have room to grow? Right? A little bit, right? So that's Facebook. And Instagram, we got a little bit over 500,000 and growing. And you can see the audience. Like, so if you have a page on Facebook and you want to understand who's following you, this is a great exercise on the audience insights. You get to understand what are the age demographics, how many of them are women, how many of them are men. Well, what does that teach me? For example, sorry that I'm taking over for you, Jesus. I apologize. You know me already. 77% of them are women. 22% of them are men. Where should I invest most of my advertising dollars if I want to generate new sales? What do you guys think? That's right. So I would save my money by understanding this data, and I would just target all women. That's just the way it is. It makes sense. Dr. Berg is into health. Men don't care about their health as much as women. If it wasn't for my wife, I'd probably be dead by now, right? That's the reality. She's the one that pushes me to go to the doctors and to eat healthy and to do all that stuff. So men don't care about it as much. That's a fact. There are some exceptions. My dad was an example, a perfect example of that exception. Dr. Berg is is one of those examples.
Well, that's a good example as well of how you can tailor your messaging to the market. So even though 77% are women, so we can ignore the men almost, but you can still market to the men through the wives, like he just said.
Exactly. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. It's something that you can use for your own marketing. And you can see here, just talking about the Dr. Berg example here, where is his audience based on? Top cities. Well, most of the fans are here in New York, as you can see here. He has people following from London, LA, Sydney, Australia, etc., top countries. I mean, this thing goes really deep, guys, really, really deep. And you get to understand a lot about who your customers, your followers, people that are interested in you, who they are. And this is data for you guys to use in how you write your message, in how do you create your videos, in how do you create your landing pages, all of it, all right? So just applying these two practical tools, Ad Library and this, Audience Insights, should be great examples for you guys to, great practical drills to execute on so you can get going in the right direction. Jesus?
Right on. So what I have here is a quick example I put together this afternoon of a fictitious dog trainer and their website. And so this would be, after we did our research, what we call the top of the funnel. So this is, we're trying to get the first date, okay? And so if we just look at even the first line, it says, it's true, new puppies chew on stuff. But when it's your favorite shoes, it's time to stop that chewing ASAP. So, if you own a cat, does that matter to you? No. But if you have yourself a new little puppy who happens to be chewing on something, you know, this is like, oh my gosh, they're speaking right to me right now, okay? And I actually have some longer copy, and I'm going to send a copy of these slides out to everybody, so make sure you guys are registered and everything so you can get that through the email. And this is an example of a little bit longer copy in the ad. So what I did was I just I hit the see more so we could see the whole thing here. But is there any question who this ad's going to be for just from that opening line? And then, of course, down here, have the perfect puppy in 6 hours, or it should be or less, not of less. So sorry, my copy is not A+ that I put together this afternoon.
We're still working on that, Jesus. It's a work in progress.
And why so we did all the research so we can get the top of funnel, so we can try to get that first date. Let's see, I wanted to go here. Okay, let's start with this part. So if there's no purchase made, but hopefully we collected some contact information, then we go into the nurturing them. And when we talk about nurturing, we're talking about delivering value-based content that shows why the thing that you have is going to be right for them. And you can follow that by telling them more about who you are and how you develop the solution, and show them examples. And like I was saying here at the bottom, this can be done through emails, through text messages or SMS, through messages or a messenger on Facebook, through direct messages on Instagram, and through retargeting ads, which if we back up now, this one is an example of a retargeting ad. So they've seen the first order of business, and what I wanted to do here is get a little bit more specific into what the product was. So having the perfect puppy that listens, obeys, and brings your shoes instead of eating them is just a few hours away. Enjoy the perfect puppy in as little as 6 hours. And so if they still haven't bought, this is a deeper understanding, but we're imagining they've been to the website a couple of times, or maybe we even sent them to 2 different websites to learn more about who the person is. And in this case, it's Mr. Rolf Wolfenstein, who created the system of the 6-hour perfect puppy solution, okay? But the first one, they don't know who you are, and they don't care. They have a problem, and they want solved. The second one, we're going on the information that they at least clicked on a button. They learned a little bit, so they saw the website, or they landed on the website, so they're familiar with what the solution is. So I introduced that solution one step deeper. The third time, they should have seen at this point Dr. Rolf Wolfenstein, the amazing dog trainer. And now, at this point, you can start with the personality itself. The other place you can start with the personality is after the purchase. So this is a great example of what Manuel was talking about with Natural Slim and his dad. And his dad was such a massive personality, everybody knew him for the most part. You know, eight different countries, right? Millions of people know Frank Suarez. So like he said, Frank just had to say, this product is great at solving this problem, and people were like, I'm in, give it to me. But once people make the first purchase, now you're following up with them. Again, you're doing it through email, through SMS, through Messenger, through direct messages, whichever platform that your people are most attuned to using, I'll say. But you deliver the initial product or service, you give them tips on how to get the most out of that new product or service, and then you introduce them to the next step. Wrong way. So, congratulations, you made the sale. Yeah. Now what? So you got on the date, you made the sale, which means they're going to go on a second date with you. So then you ask them what they like. Ask them to share their experiences that they've had with you so far. Okay? Find out what it is that they want. And then you use those answers to create your next offer, your next product, your next service. And while I'm on this slide for a second, let me differentiate really quick, at least in my head, what I consider an offer versus a product or service. So this cleaner is a product, right? And if I just sell you this, that's it. One product, one and done, might work, might not. Now service might be, you know, I'm Bob's whiteboard cleaning service and I use this stuff, I'm going to come clean it for you, right? But the offer, so those are more of what we call like commodities. You can kind of get it anywhere. Amazon is sort of built on commodity. That's why it's important to have somebody who knows how to manage an Amazon business, Amazon store, if that's the route you're going down, to help you stand out in that marketplace. But the offer, you build a packaging around the product or service that makes it unique to you in a way that people can only get it from you. So you become the only choice to solve that problem or give them that solution. It's a deeper topic for another time, but I thought it was important to bring up. And since it's a relationship cycle, you have to rinse and repeat. So even you got the date, you got the second date, eventually we got married. Well, if you don't keep dating, after you're married, things tend to fall apart. So this is why we got the reviews. We asked them what they wanted. We found out what their experiences were with us so that we can make corrections if necessary or just pour gasoline on the fire of what we did right. And then we create the next product or service that they already told us they wanted. And as I say here at the bottom, ideally, that next product or service is a little bit more exclusive, a little bit more expensive, right? There's an odd situation with people where many of us will pay more attention to something the more we pay for it. Here's a quick example. Many moons ago, just down the road here in the Clearwater area, I had a friend who was running a martial arts school. And at the time, this was like 1994, 1995. He was charging $40 a month for like 5-day-a-week classes and was struggling to keep the doors open. And he's like, I don't understand it. I've got a great system, we deliver a great product, and it's affordable. And another school owner, a friend of mine, told him, he says, you're too cheap. People don't value what you have to offer. They said, you double your prices and see what happens. $80 a month, enrollment in the school increased. Went to 120, so on and so forth. So the more he expanded his price, the more his school filled up. There is what do we call it? The rate of diminishing returns. Right. There's a breaking point. It just stops. But that can be okay, because now the business itself, in that case that martial arts school, is more profitable to begin with, which means he can train and hire people to run the average day-to-day classes, and now he can go and the head instructor can go and create a new service which is more exclusive to him. So now you get more of his time. Maybe you pay $1,000 a month for that. It's just something to think about, right? How do we find this information out? We talk about your post-purchase conversations, get reviews, get surveys. All this stuff helps you to deepen the understanding of where you stand with your customers so that you can better serve them. Sometimes we talk a lot about value. We give value, we give value, we give value. Again, with that diminishing returns, there's only so much value people will absorb when it's free. And sometimes the best value comes after you pay for something. And when you're creating these new and customized offers based on the information that you gather from people, doesn't mean necessarily that you're making it for one person, but as a group as a whole. You may very well identify subgroups within your clientele, within your customers, that you go, you know what, this group, I can create this specific product or service that they're just going to eat up because it's going to help accelerate them to their goals. And that's how it works. That is the cycle. You ask for first, you figure out who you want to date. You ask for the first date. You nail the first date. You get the second date. You get married. You keep dating. You figure out what they want more of, and you give it to them. And the relationship blossoms, becomes deeper and deeper and more valuable.
And
so,
if you guys know me, you know that I like to show sometimes what we talk about, not just talk about it, so you understand that I'm walking the talk, not just talking. That's sometimes somebody was asking me today, what makes us different at AGM Marketing from competitors? We own our own brands, we run our own campaigns, we accomplish success for ourselves. And when we walk that talk, we get to execute for you what we already have proven to be successful. So I am the owner. I'm the proud owner, co-founder of a company that is very successful, that has been growing like crazy. And I go and I implement strategies on it. Some things work and some things don't work. And the things that work, I show you guys all about them, and I teach you how to get them executed, and I deliver services for you to help you guys also accomplish similar results. And the ones that don't work, I save you the money. And I don't teach you about them, and I tell you, don't do this because it's not going to work. and then we actually end up helping you increase your own chances for success. So this is inside, you're looking at a platform, and again, I'm gonna show you an example from my own brand. That, again, this is what makes us different, because we're running our own campaigns and our own marketing. We spend, this last month, we had a record-breaking advertising spend month. We spent close to $400,000 in advertising across Facebook, Instagram, postcards, Amazon, all over the place. So we did millions of dollars in revenue. So we are obviously successful at that. We spend $1 in advertising, we generate $10 in sales. We have a great return. Now, granted, it's not a fair comparison, because I had, like Jesus mentioned, my father was very, very special. He was what I like to describe as a content unicorn. It doesn't matter what he sells, people will be lining up to buy it because he was that good. Similar to Dr. Berg. He's very special. People believe in him. And because they are so powerful, they make my job as a marketer way easier. My father passed away almost 19 months ago now, and we're still pushing his legacy. We're still pushing his content. More people are discovering my dad today than they discovered him while he was still alive, pushing content. So we're doing our job at spreading my dad's message, which is exactly what he wanted. But I'm showing you inside our e-commerce platform. E-commerce is only one part of what we do here for our brand. We have a call center with people across the country answering phone calls all day long. We have obviously Amazon, and we do really well with that, and then we're in many different areas. Again, like I've explained, it's a pretty established business by now. But this is our text messaging platform. So Jesus has been talking about how somebody talked about the value of the customer over the lifetime. We talked about how do you turn those prospects into money. Well, this is an example over here. We have a platform called 𝗟𝗘𝗥𝗡. That's the name of the text messaging platform. 𝗟𝗘𝗥𝗡. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't need you guys to go and hire them. There's many different companies. There's another one called Attentive. There's another one called Simple Texting. It doesn't matter. This is the one that we use because it integrates very well with our e-commerce platform, which is called Shopify. So to give you an idea, we have a list of people that we grow. So we have 237,000 phone numbers. That's a little bit, right? It's a chunk, right? It's a few phone numbers. We do have millions of emails. Phone numbers have become extremely vital, more than emails right now. Why? Because emails, if you put it on a graph, the open rates have been plummeting, while text messaging has been steady. People open up messages at 95% rates. You send a message to 1,000 people, guaranteed at least 950 are going to open up that message. You send 1,000 emails. If you do a good job and your subjects are good and attractive, you get 20% of those open up your emails. If you're a good email marketer,
I don't know, I hit 28 this week.
you did 28%? Well, you can come and pay Jesus a lot of money so he can teach you what he does. 28% is like genius levels in email marketing this day and era, especially when you're hitting people with communications every day. The industry for email marketing is at 18% right now. On average, you send an email to 1,000 people, 180 of them will open it, 820, 700, and what's the math? 820, all right, will not ever see that message. It's just the way it is. It's sad, right? Because you invest a lot of money on email lead acquisition, and then people are not seeing your messages. So a couple of years ago, which is my obsession, I jumped ahead of the crowd, or at the beginning of a moving train, and I said, things are changing, we gotta acquire phone numbers, let's go. We gotta go heavy at this. So this is the evidence of that. So what has happened with that? Is it just a cute vanity number? Well, let's see. This is again the platform right here. Guys, there's no Photoshop over here, all right? Let's eliminate any, because you always have doubters, right? Right, Jesus? Always. Somebody say, oh, Manuel, Photoshop that slide.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to refresh it in front of you guys right here. Refresh. Let's refresh. Let's see what the platform says, all right? So if I go to last 90 days, well, let's go to the whole year, last 365 days, I have spent $75,000 sending text messages. right? And it has helped me generate $2.87 million, $2,870,260.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, right? I'm sort of God, I'm not looking for an applause, all right? I want to create an awakening. I want to show you guys what the opportunity is like. This is the customer value, and this is, you're right. He has a really good point. He says yes for Shopify. That doesn't even take into account people that are calling us from our text messaging, which happens every single day, people that are going to Amazon to buy our products, which happens every single day. This is directly attributed to people clicking on our links on that text message and buying our products on our website, which is us.naturalslim.com. From those things, they go over here.
I mean, dare I say it, that is the effect of the customer relationship cycle when done well.
So we service the Latin American community in the United States. From our text messages, we do provide value. It's not just a spam machine. It's not like, oh, buy myself, buy myself, buy myself. It's, here's value. We have content, we have quality. Here's information, here's products, and that we can do to help you solve your problems. Good marketing, and we bring them over here, and they buy our products, whatever that may be, books or programs, etc. So again, so the total ROI on that is $3,695. So raise your hand if you have a bigger or better ROI of something, right? That means that for every dollar that I'm putting on text messaging marketing, I am getting $370 back. Somebody correct me. My math is not the best in the world. For every dollar that I put on SMS, it's 0.007 cents per text message. That's not how you start, though. I have a big volume. You usually start with 1 cent or a little bit higher. I pay 0.007 cents per message. For every dollar I put into that, I get $370 back, all right? No casino, it doesn't matter how lucky you are, will ever give you that return on your investment, all right? So that's the value of building a list. That's the value of you having phone numbers. It doesn't matter if you have 20 of them. It doesn't matter if you have 150 of them, or if you have 150,000 or 220,000. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you take care of them, that you nurture them, that you communicate to them every day, and then you continue to develop your line of products, offerings, and services to help these people solve their problems. And that's how you grow. 60% of our revenue in Natural Slim is getting people to keep on buying our stuff. Great quality products, great quality offerings, and we keep on developing that particular line and giving people results. 40% of it, we invest into acquiring new customers that have never purchased from us before, which is pretty much unlimited. As you guys saw, there are hundreds of millions of people, and we're just getting started. If you look at, sometimes my wife, obviously, she's been involved since day one in our company. She's the genius behind a lot of the things that we have going on. And I always tell her, look, and I used to talk to my dad about this. I'm like, just you guys, I want you guys to understand how big the market is. So if Natural Slim does $50 million in a year, which is amazing, right? Wow, it's a dream, especially because we haven't gotten outside investors. We have absolutely no angel funding, none of it. It's been all what they like to call bootstrapping ourselves. Years and hard work and great marketing. Well, that's $50 million. Herbalife, that all of you guys have heard about, or most of you guys have heard about, it's one of the biggest supplement brands on the world. They did $5 billion last year. So I got a lot of room to grow. So when I understand that, I know, wait a second, I got to hustle. We got a lot of work to do. Because also, a lot of those products are not as good as our products. We have a great product and a great service, which they don't have. We do have a program that gets people by the hand and delivers high-quality services also in complement with the products. My dad was a romantic in the sense that he didn't believe in what he liked to call miracle products. He didn't like to have people feel that they would take a vitamin and they would become superpowers, right? He hated that concept of like, take this pill, eat what you want, and you're gonna wake up feeling skinnier and better and more powerful. He hated that whole idea. He wanted to complement products, high-quality products, with education, with information, with services. That's what made us different. We do have a service. We're not a product machine. We are a service machine. We like to consider ourselves a service business, which, again, that's another thing that I recommend. You guys find a way to make yourself special by delivering something of quality like a service. We actually service people over the phone without actually selling that information. We just service them in exchange for them buying our products, right? So again, that shows you what that opportunity is. So if you work on a list and you have people that already are purchasing your things, make sure that you know, even if you're an artist, right? Like once a week, send them a highlight of what you're working on. Let them know. Stay in communication with your people. If you do that, people will keep on buying into you, no matter what you're doing, how you're doing it. It's going to be extremely powerful. Create your list, nurture them, and that's how you really build a business in today's environment. All right? Jesus, you got everything?
We got everything, man. We can wrap up, and then that way, if anybody needs to leave, they can take off. And if anybody wants to stay behind and ask questions, which I encourage you to do, then let's stay behind and ask some questions. So if I did my job right, these 3 things that we mentioned at the beginning, the 3 levels of customer knowledge, what they think and say, and why that matters to you was covered. And at that point, I'm going to practice what I preach here for a second, and I'm going to say, yes, please stay for a couple minutes and tell me what you liked. And then tell me if there was something that I could have done better to serve you better. And let me know what it is.
So if any of you guys, whether you're joining the stream on Facebook and YouTube, or you're watching a replay, if you need to talk to one of our marketing consultants, just go ahead and all you got to do is go to a website, and you can type it in very easily, talktoaninja.com. Literally, I wish I was just saying a joke. I'm not. Talktoaninja.com is the website. You go in there and you book an appointment to talk to one of these good-looking guys back here, so you can talk about how you need help with marketing, whether you need to get started or you need to scale your business because you're like a powerhouse already and you need to get to the next level. We have help to offer you. So talktoaninja.com will take you to talk to one of these guys for a free consultation. So check that out. So Jesus, thank you for incredible value today. Let's give him a big hands. That was fire, guys. And again, thank you guys for showing up. In 2 weeks, we have another workshop. We're going to do a quick selfie. Carly, what are we doing in 2 weeks?
Winning the thumbnail war.
Winning the thumbnail war.
The thumb stopper war, I mean.
Winning the thumb stopper. There we go. Yeah.
How to make your nails look amazing. No.
Secret number 1, take all the Natural Slim products because it'll make your body healthy.
Shine more, right?
And your nails and hair will look amazing.
So we're gonna have
I need an affiliate link.
We're gonna have Mr. Jimmy Stearns, who's AGM's creative director. He creates a lot of content, and for our brands and for ourselves, he's gonna be on stage talking about how to create thumb-stopping ads, which basically is, you know, how you're browsing through your feed and you're like, oh, I want to watch that. It's called a thumb stopper. All right. So you want to learn about that. You want to find out how we create some of these eye-catching ads. Make sure you book your appointment. The one link for that one, again, we got talktoaninja.com if you guys want to talk to one of our guys. You also have another link called moneymakingworkshops.com. moneymakingworkshops.com. That link will always take you to our next workshop. You will always know what's coming up in our lineup. We're committed to you guys. We're going to keep on giving you guys these workshops every other week, so you guys keep on increasing your abilities, and hopefully one day you make so much money that you want to know how to give it away for next level marketing strategies, and you come to us. That's the idea, all right? So moneymakingworkshops.com will take you there, and that should be a great one. So Carly, any other announcements?
We got to get a picture.
All right, we're going to do a picture, selfie style? Yeah. All right, let's do it. So let's pretend that you guys got enormous value today, all right? Just for our marketing purposes. Let's go. Yay! All right, good. All right, guys, thank you very much.